Hi, I'm Alma. The fluorescent lights in the school hallway flickered above me as I shoved my geometry textbook into my locker. My stomach growled, again, loud enough that Zoe, my best friend since third grade, raised an eyebrow. Skipping breakfast again? Zoe leaned against the neighboring locker, twirling a strand of her purple-tipped hair. Not by choice. I slammed my locker shut with more force than necessary. Mom forgot to buy groceries for my lunches this week, too. Again? But I saw her car at Kroger yesterday after school. Oh, she shops, just not for me. I lowered my voice as a group of freshmen passed by. Jason and Emma's lunch bags were bursting this morning. Premium stuff, too. Those fancy protein bars Emma loves, organic apple slices, even sushi for Jason. And what did you get? I held up empty palms. A suggestion to grab something from the cafeteria with my non-existent lunch money. Zoe frowned, digging through her backpack. Here, take half my sandwich. I can't keep taking your food. It's better than nothing. This is getting ridiculous, Alma. It's been, 3 months since your mom married Mr. Wonderful? 3 months, 2 weeks, and 4 days of watching my mom transform into stepmother of the year. Just not for her actual daughter. The warning bell rang, and we started walking toward biology. Last night, she spent 2 hours helping Emma with her science project. When I asked for help with my calculus homework, she said she was too exhausted. Have you talked to her? Like, really talked? Every time I try, she gets defensive, says I'm being dramatic or jealous. What about your dad? Can't you stay with him more? He's still overseas until December. The custody agreement is pretty clear about school months with Mom. We slipped into our seats just as Miss Rivera started taking attendance. I tried to focus, but the words on the whiteboard blurred. My stomach cramped painfully, and I realized I hadn't eaten anything substantial since yesterday's lunch, also courtesy of Zoe. 20 minutes into class, the room started spinning. I raised my hand, intending to ask for a bathroom pass, but my voice came out as a whisper. The last thing I remember was Miss Rivera's alarmed expression as the floor rushed up to meet me. I woke up in the nurse's office with Zoe and Miss Rivera hovering over me. She's awake, Zoe said, relief washing over her face. Alma, how are you feeling? Nurse Patel pressed a cool cloth to my forehead. Dizzy. What happened? You fainted in class, Miss Rivera said gently. Nurse Patel checked your blood sugar. It's dangerously low. When was the last time you ate a full meal? I hesitated, but Zoe jumped in. She's been skipping meals because her mom doesn't buy her food anymore, just feeds the stepkids. Miss Rivera and Nurse Patel exchanged a look that spoke volumes. Is that true, Alma? Nurse Patel asked carefully. The tears I'd been holding back for months finally spilled over. She doesn't even notice I'm hungry. This is a pattern? Principal Garcia leaned forward across her desk, brow furrowed with concern. Not just today. It was after lunch now. Someone had called my mother, but she hadn't arrived yet. Instead, I sat in the principal's office with Nurse Patel, Miss Rivera, and the school counselor, Mr. Chen. It started small, I explained, the sandwich Mr. Chen had given me settling comfortingly in my stomach. Missing ingredients for my lunches while my step-siblings got their favorites? Then forgetting to include me in dinner plans? Now it's, I gestured vaguely. Complete neglect, Zoe finished from her chair beside me. She'd refused to leave my side. Her mom's husband has these 2 perfect kids, and suddenly Alma might as well be invisible. That's a serious accusation, Mr. Chen said gently. We should be careful about... I've noticed Alma's declining participation in class, Miss Rivera interrupted. She used to be one of my most engaged students. Now she can barely keep her eyes open. Have you discussed this with your mother? Principal Garcia asked. Countless times. She either denies it or promises to do better, then nothing changes. What about your stepfather? Could he be unaware of the situation? Mr. Chen suggested. I laughed bitterly. Tom knows. Last week I told him I hadn't eaten dinner the night before. He said I should be more proactive about my needs instead of waiting to be served. That's... Nurse Patel started, but was interrupted by a commotion outside. The door burst open, and my stepsister Emma stormed in. At 16, she was a year younger than me, but carried herself like she owned every room. "What are you doing, Alma? Mom had to leave work early because of your drama." "Emma, this is a private meeting," Principal Garcia began. "She's faking it," Emma declared. "She's just jealous because Mom and Dad are happy together." I literally collapsed from low blood sugar. I said flatly, "So dramatic. Maybe if you didn't sleep until noon on weekends, you'd have time for breakfast. Maybe if your dad didn't eat the food meant for me. My dad provides for this family. Your deadbeat father sends what? A check once a month?" I stood up so fast my chair toppled backward. "My father serves our country. Your dad serves himself first at every meal." Mr. Chen stepped between us. "Emma, please wait outside." "Whatever. Mom's on her way and she's not happy about being embarrassed like this." After Emma flounced out, Principal Garcia cleared her throat. "Alma, we need to document this situation. Mr. Chen and I will start by meeting with your mother, but this may require outside intervention." "You mean like CPS?" My voice sounded small. "Possibly. What's happening isn't just unkind. It could be considered neglect. My mom will hate me if you report her." "She's already treating you like she hates you," Zoe muttered. Miss Rivera touched my arm gently. "What if we gather evidence first? Document the disparity in how you and your step-siblings are treated?" "I could help," Zoe volunteered immediately. "I've seen it firsthand." "Me too," Miss Rivera added. "I can note the pattern of missed lunches, fatigue in class." I looked at their determined faces and felt something I hadn't in months. Hope. "Okay," I nodded slowly. "Let's do it." 2 weeks later, I stood in our kitchen, phone in hand, recording as my mother packed elaborate lunches for Jason and Emma. "Mom, what about my lunch?" I asked casually. She barely glanced up. "You can make your own, Alma. You're almost 18. "With what? The bread's gone and so is the peanut butter?" "There's something in the fridge, I'm sure." She carefully placed a handwritten note in Emma's lunchbox. "Actually, there isn't. I checked." My mother sighed dramatically. "I can't keep track of everything, Alma. Take some lunch money." "From where? You haven't given me allowance in 3 months." She slammed Jason's lunchbox shut. "Why are you always so difficult? Emma and Jason never complain." "They don't have to. They're actually being fed." My mother turned to face me fully, noticing my phone. "Are you recording me? What is this?" "Evidence," I said calmly, stopping the recording and tucking my phone away. Principal Garcia, Nurse Patel, Miss Rivera, and Mr. Chen are all worried about the pattern of nutritional neglect happening in this house. Her face paled. "You've been talking to the school about our private family matters?" "I collapsed in class, Mom. From hunger. That made it the school's business." "That was one time. You probably just didn't eat breakfast." "Because there was no breakfast for me to eat." My voice rose despite my efforts to stay calm. "You've been doing this for months, feeding them and not me." Tom appeared in the doorway, coffee mug in hand. "What's all the shouting about?" "Your wife has been systematically making sure I don't have food while your kids get gourmet meals." I turned back to my mother. "And the school has documentation going back 6 weeks." "This is ridiculous," my mother scoffed, but I could see uncertainty creeping into her expression. "I feed you." "When was the last time, Mom? What did you make me for dinner last night?" "The same thing everyone else had." "I wasn't even home last night. I stayed at Zoe's because there wasn't food here for me. You didn't even notice I was gone." Tom set his mug down. "Rebecca, is this true?" "Of course not. She's being dramatic. Teenagers exaggerate." "Do teenagers fabricate text messages?" I pulled out my phone again. "Like this one where I asked if you could pick up sandwich supplies for my lunches, and you said, 'I already did the shopping for the week, even though Emma got new lunch supplies yesterday.'" "Or these photos," I continued, scrolling through my gallery, "showing the difference between their lunches and my empty shelf in the pantry? Or maybe the documented weight loss in Nurse Patel's records?" My mother's face contorted. "You ungrateful little. After everything I've done for you." Rebecca, Tom warned, looking troubled. What exactly have you done for me lately, Mom? Besides, make it crystal clear that your new family matters more than your daughter? That's not fair. She stepped toward me, finger pointed at my face. I have been trying to blend this family, and you fought me every step of the way. Blending doesn't mean erasing me. It doesn't mean I don't get to eat. I should have sent you to live with your father. Maybe then you'd appreciate what you have here. What I have here is nothing. You've given me nothing. My mother's hand flew up, and for a terrible moment I thought she might hit me. Instead, she grabbed my phone. I'm taking this. No more recordings, no more evidence. This ends now. Actually, came a voice from the doorway, I think this is just beginning. We all turned to see Miss Rivera standing there with Mr. Chen and a woman in a blazer I didn't recognize. Who are you? My mother demanded. How did you get in here? The door was open, Miss Rivera said calmly. And this is Sandra Reyes from Child Protective Services. We heard enough to confirm our concerns. The temporary custody arrangement gives you 2 supervised visits per week, the family court mediator explained as my mother dabbed at her eyes with a tissue. Once you've completed the parenting classes and nutritional education program, we can revisit the arrangement. It was 6 weeks after the confrontation in our kitchen. I now lived with my Aunt Claire, my father's sister, who had flown in from Colorado as soon as CPS got involved. This is absurd, my mother muttered. All this over some missed meals. It wasn't some missed meals, Mrs. Harding, Mr. Chen corrected firmly. It was a documented pattern of nutritional neglect toward one child while providing abundantly for others. The medical report showed Alma was suffering from malnutrition. I've made mistakes, my mother conceded, her voice softening as she turned to me. But Alma, sweetheart, you know I love you. We can fix this. I stared at her across the conference table. Part of me wanted to believe her, the same part that had kept quiet for months, hoping she'd notice what she was doing. You had chances to fix it, I said quietly. Every time I told you I was hungry. Every time I asked why Emma and Jason got lunches and I didn't. I was overwhelmed, trying to make everyone happy. Except me. You weren't trying to make me happy, or even keep me healthy. People make mistakes, Alma, she pleaded. Families forgive each other. This wasn't one mistake. It was hundreds of choices every day to prioritize them over me. I kept my voice steady, even as tears threatened. The day I collapsed, you didn't even come to the school until after your hair appointment. The receptionist told me. Tom, who had been quiet until now, cleared his throat. Rebecca, she's right. I saw it happening and said nothing. We both failed her. My mother rounded on him. Whose side are you on? The side of a child who wasn't being fed properly in our home, he replied firmly. The mediator intervened. Let's focus on moving forward constructively. Alma's physical health has improved under her aunt's care. The next steps are rebuilding trust, which will take time and consistent effort. Aunt Claire, who had been my steadfast advocate throughout, spoke up. Alma's father will be home next month. He's requesting primary custody moving forward. He can't do that, my mother protested. Our agreement can be modified based on these circumstances, the mediator finished. That will be determined at the custody hearing. After the meeting, my mother caught up to me in the hallway. Alma, please, give me another chance. We're still family. I looked at her, really looked at her, and felt a strange calm settle over me. You know what I realized, Mom? Family doesn't mean the same thing to you as it does to me. To me, it means making sure everyone is cared for equally. To you, it means... I don't know what it means to you anymore. I love you, she whispered. Maybe you do, in your way. But love should include making sure your child has food. Aunt Claire waited patiently nearby as Zoe arrived, right on schedule to pick me up for our study session. Ready to go? Zoe asked, eyeing my mother warily. Almost. I turned back to my mother. I'm not coming home, Mom. Not now, maybe not ever. I've learned I deserve better than what you were giving me. People will judge me for this, she said, a hint of her old defensiveness returning. They'll think I'm a terrible mother. That's not my problem anymore. I shouldered my backpack and walked away, joining Zoe and Aunt Claire. Later, at Zoe's kitchen table, spread with enough snacks to feed an army, her mother's way of ensuring I never went hungry in their home, Zoe asked the question I'd been asking myself. Do you think you'll ever forgive her? I considered this as I reached for another cookie. I don't know. Maybe someday I'll understand why she did what she did. But forgiveness? That would require her to truly understand what she did wrong. I'm not sure she ever will. For what it's worth, Miss Rivera said, joining us with a tray of hot chocolate. You showed incredible courage standing up for yourself. Many adults couldn't have done what you did. I smiled, feeling the warmth of being surrounded by people who genuinely cared about my well-being. I learned something important from all this. Sometimes the family you choose is more nourishing than the family you're born into. To chosen family, Zoe raised her mug in a toast. And to never going hungry again, I added, clinking my mug against hers. Have you ever had to stand up to someone who was supposed to care for you? What gave you the courage to do it?